Let's talk about what just happened this week. We have, honestly, a lot of Mortal Kombat 1 to talk about in a couple of movies, so let's do that, shall we? Okay, so we're going to save Mortal Kombat 1 talk for the end of the episode. We're going to get all of the other interactions with pop culture out of the way. Before we do that, though, let's talk about what the hell this show is. I didn't do one last week. I apologize. Just, kind of didn't have the schedule for it. But here we are back again. Check it, direct it, let's begin. Party people, let me hear the noise. DC's in the house, jump, which, okay, sorry. So no, this show is the companion show to the Week in Nerddom. So Week in Nerddom is the news, and we talk about things that are going to be coming out, and talk about things that are getting rated, and talk about things until they launch. And once they launch, you're kind of not in the news cycle anymore, but they're still a significant part of the nerd culture, so that's what this show is. I can't do reviews because I'm a one-man show and I work 40 hours a week at my day job, which makes it very hard to edit and things and stuff. So, so reviewing things that are brand new happens from time to time, but by and large, we're reviewing things that have been out for some time. Not the least of which being this week we're talking about Talk to Me, which has been out since last year, I believe. Also, I watched Boogeyman, which has been out for 2 years, maybe. So yeah, that's what this is. So let's talk about the things that happened since we last spoke, shall we? First up is Haunting in Venice, the new Agatha Christie, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Agatha Christie writes a heck of a decent, not a great, but a decent mystery, so it's a lot of fun to kind of figure it out for the first 20 minutes, and then you kind of have to rely on the cinematography and the ability of the actors in the movie, and they seem competent. Like, it was fine. It wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it wasn't nearly as bad as a lot of people in the proper review sphere are giving it. Like, it was a fun watch. I don't know if I would pay full theater prices to see it, but if you can catch it at a discount theater, or if you want to wait until it's streaming, then by all means do that. But streaming, definitely watch it there because it's worth a watch. It's a worthwhile movie. It's just not that much worthwhile, if you catch what I mean. So from there, let's talk about Talk to Me. Finally watched this movie just because it sounded a little too much like modern horror to me. There's definitely that. This is actually, in a way, in a very specific way, it's a bit of a throwback to horror of a couple of decades past, around about the time that The Ring was the big thing. There was a trend in horror, see Gothica, see Ringu, or not Ringu, the one with Sarah Michelle Gellar, I can't remember what it was. Not I Know What You Did Last Summer, the other Japanese adaptation, but I can't remember it. Either way, there was a theme in horror around about that time where it was like a vengeful spirit, usually a vengeful young female spirit, that just wants her story to be told, and so she's haunting these people and doing these horrible things so that people will find out that she was wronged in life and blah, 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 blah. That's kind of what this is, but like the super evil version of that, because it's not that necessarily the ghosts involved here want their story told exactly, but they're telling stories to get people to do things, and then you kind of sort of find out a little bit of who they were in life as well. So it's, like I said, it's a little bit of a throwback, but not a one-for-one comparison. That being said, I feel like this works a little bit better than the Americanized version of that previous trend. So, still not great, but worth a watch for sure. From there, let's talk about, Dark Winds. We started watching Dark Winds. We talked last week about the fact that Dark Winds actually has just been renewed for a 3rd season. So congratulations to everybody involved. Dark Winds, if you don't remember, is the George R.R. Martin and Robert Redford produced series based on the Tony Hillerman books that are actually, the show is actually, quite good. This is definitely something, if you have, oh, what's it on? I didn't put that in the notes because I take even better notes for when we're not doing a proper news show. I'm pretty sure it's on Max. It could be on Prime. Actually, no. Flip that. I'm pretty sure it's on Prime. That could be on Max, but it's worth a watch. If you have whichever of those streamers is hosting it, go check it out. It's kind of like native Sons of Anarchy in a way, and the Sons of Anarchy was a win for almost the entire runtime of that series. So, yeah, there we go. From there, Ahsoka. We have Ahsoka. I have not watched episode 5 or 6 at this point. So, I was supposed to watch it before we went to film, but it didn't happen because I got ADD brain and started hyper-focusing on making bracelets and jewelry, and yeah, I can't explain it to you, but Ahsoka is definitely oh no, did I watch? No, I only watched episode 4. Sorry. Yeah, from what I've seen of episode 5, from the reviews I've read, from the breakdowns I've watched, it's going to be worth the time, and episode 6 is going to be even better. So I can't wait for Thrawn and Ezra to be on screen live action in front of my face. Hasn't happened yet, so we can't talk about it, but it's a great series so far. But let's move on. Also, the other thing that we wanted to talk about before we get into Mortal Kombat is the Boogeyman Stephen King adaptation that actually kind of worked, and kind of like the ending works in a way, at least better than most Stephen King outings. This is one, it should be on streaming. I didn't watch it on streaming though. I did the other thing. But yeah, if you're looking for something to fill up a night that you want to watch a decent horror movie, you can do a lot worse than Boogeyman. It's definitely not, like they show you the monster, and I think that whenever that happens in modern horror, that's one of the biggest things that kills the vibe. So yeah, but the monster works. It might not look good, but like the effectiveness of what it does works. So there you go. But yeah, so let's talk about Mortal Kombat 1, shall we? I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I kind of love Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat 1 is continuation of the same. We've talked about this previously in the live streams when we did the beta, the 2 betas actually. And it's only gotten better since then. But now that we have a full roster to play with, and now that we have, you know, all of the secrets are kind of out there for us to see, there's a little bit, I'm left feeling a little lacking with this new Mortal Kombat outing. As I'm thinking specifically of movesets. Now, I understand that part of the reason why these movesets feel smaller than even Mortal Kombat 11 is because of the cameo system. Cameo system is there to kind of vary up the movesets for each individual character. You effectively have, I think there's, 15 cameos, and so you have 15 variations on the character that you want to play. My biggest issue here, though, is Scorpion. I'm a Scorpion player. Scorpion is my guy. I've been a Scorpion player since the first game. I've always been on Team Yellow. And this time around, with Scorpion being Kuai Liang, I don't know that necessarily the story elements factor into my issue with it. There's no lows. You have no mix-ups with Scorpion. And actually, like, I feel like the fact that Raiden has a 50% combo that you can squeak out. Go watch the Ninja Killer videos if you doubt me. You can squeak out a 50% combo rather. And that's like fairly routine. I feel like Ninja Killer hits that thing pretty quickly. I'm getting to the point now where I can hit almost 50% with Raiden as well. So that's huge. But with Scorpion being my favorite character, I want Scorpion to be my main. And it almost feels like Scorpion and Sub-Zero have switched from the last game, because Sub-Zero has a little bit more mix-ups. even though Sub-Zero has even less combo options, he has more mix-ups. Scorpion has better combo options, but zero mix-ups. There is no low game with this Scorpion character. You have to have a cameo that has a low in order for you to have any sort of mix-up in your combo variety. And even then, like, I haven't found somebody with an acceptable low, aside from kind of Frost, that even really does a whole lot for the extension of the combos. I haven't tried Kung Lao yet. I'm pretty sure that's a good one to do. But I've seen people give Jax a shot and he doesn't work super well. Frost is super effective, so I generally use her. Cyrax, I'm finding, is pretty useful. I just started trying to use Sector, and his teleport punch is definitely a decent one, but it's not an ambush, so you can't call it out very easily. Especially when you're mid-combo, but so yeah, just kind of a rambly way of griping about a couple of issues. Definitely not the... let's walk that thought back a little bit. I still feel like I like Mortal Kombat 11 just a little bit better. I love the story. I love where the story went. I think that's really cool, and I think they definitely have set up the DLC, the story DLC that I know is coming. That's still very speculative on my part, but like there is very little doubt in my mind that we will not be getting story DLC for this game, just because they kind of left it open for that. There's been the leaks involved with that, as well as just some of the stuff that we've been seeing as far as like how the cameos and how the first Combat Pack DLC characters are factoring into story. Like, it just relieves a lot of obvious signs saying that we're getting story mode DLC as well as a second Combat Pack. So yeah, that's where I stand with Mortal Kombat 1. It's great. I love it. I just think Mortal Kombat 11 was a better game. It is a little bit more methodical. Yes, I do appreciate that they sped up the gameplay for Mortal Kombat 1 from the betas. But I think Mortal Kombat 11 was a little bit more solid overall. That's where I stand. That's what happened for me this week, nerds. What happened for you? Let's talk about that in the comments section. As far as what is to come, and with that just happened, moving forward this week, a lot more Mortal Kombat, and that's kind of it. No plans for movies as it stands. That's very possibly going to change. I will be caught up with Ahsoka. I also got caught up with The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, which is a great series that we've talked about ad nauseum already, and it's only, what, 5 episodes deep? So that's a for sure show that you should watch as well. I think, honestly, some of the best Walking Dead programming that they've done in, like 6 seasons of anything else. Maggie, the Maggie and Negan series included, that was great, but Daryl is so much better. Yeah, anyway, so that's what happened with me. That's what's going to be happening next week. What is up with you? Let's talk about it. Let's move on. Let's do the things. Let's have the conversation. Let's make this community grow and appreciate art, and I appreciate your faces, nerds. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here, and that just happened.